I've posted almost 300 videos on this channel, many of which were posted without the assistance of a professional camera monitor, that is, for the exception of the most recent videos. That's because I found them to be rather pricey and didn't really think I had much use for them since I already had a flip-out screen on my camera. However, I was sent this little monitor over for review and have been testing it for a little while. And I'm finally ready to talk about my thoughts on this and whether or not it has actually been useful to somebody that didn't really expect it to be. And this is going to be the ANDYCINE A6Pro monitor. Let us go ahead and dive right in. Before we continue, I just want to remind you that we have a Twitch channel where we stream every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. and to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so why not go ahead and drop a follow? And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and also make sure to check out the merch store. There's plenty of black and white sweetness to choose from up there, so go ahead and check that out. And then make sure to take a look at the podcast as well, as the podcast always goes live every Wednesday and Sunday. And with that said, enough rambling, let us get straight into the video. And as always, let's begin with a quick unboxing. I'll open up this little nice box to find the traveling case for this monitor. Open it up and you will find a bunch of accessories like a USB-C cable, a rechargeable battery, an HDMI cable, a metal mount, and much more. You're also going to be able to go forward, and then underneath you're going to find the monitor itself, a border for the monitor, or the screen I should say, that is meant to hold the included cover for it, which I didn't actually use so much since I mostly shoot indoors. This is actually pretty cool. Comes with pretty much everything that you need, for the exception a power barrel connector, but I can actually sort of forgive that. However, more on that soon. The exterior design is going to consist of plastic for the body and glass for the screen. And now there are going to be a bunch of mounting points around it, and the battery slot around the back, of course. You're going to find some navigational buttons around the top, which are all very clicky and nice to use. You'll also find HDMI out, HDMI in, and a 12-volt barrel connector. On the bottom, you're going to find a headphone jack, another barrel entry, and a USB-C port. As you may have noticed, I've hooked up the mount through the right side thread and hooked it up to my camera through the hot shoe mount. It's going to be very sturdy, as a matter of fact, to use, and it definitely stays on very well since it is a metal mount after all. So far, I really like this design and the size of this display. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about that display. This is a 5.5-inch 1080p display that is also touchscreen. It's very satisfying to use, and most importantly, it's more satisfying to look at. It's big enough to make monitoring your visuals from a distance relatively comfortable, but up close, it looks incredibly sharp and beautiful. It's very colorful, and since my Sony a6400 outputs a clean HDMI signal, you're looking at just the picture, which is pretty awesome, so it definitely supports that. Which leads me straight into discussing its functionality. I've been using this as a larger display for when monitoring the visuals much more easily during the podcast episodes, which I have to sit from a distance of the camera in order to be able to actually get or be able to cover a decent amount of ground. And its little screen becomes too difficult to look at from there. It works beautifully, sure, and I dare say that the colors on this display appear to be more accurate, which means I can trust it more than the display built onto my camera, and this is a pretty good display, mind you. You can also make a lot of adjustments through the menu, such as making changes to the color temperature, choosing a specific area of recording, for instance, and like zooming in, and so much more that I personally wouldn't make use of. But I'm sure that many others will, which is why I found it important to bring up at the very least. And going to be a vast menu that offers a lot of control over this display. But as is, I only need so little, and this already does so much for me. So here are going to be some examples of what it can do. It's got a built-in histogram, if you're into that, custom LUT support, focus assist like focus edge, embedded audio, zebra support, pixel-to-pixel, color adjustment, and some more. Just to name a few, of course. And now let's go ahead and talk about the battery life. As you've noticed, there's going to be a little battery compartment. It is more so for one of those Sony batteries, and I'm gonna say that it is fairly good for what it is. It will last me around 2 hours or so, I would say, but it does take a while to charge it up. I will mention that. And of course, it would be a lot better if it actually came with that barrel connector that I was talking about earlier, because it means that we would be able to record almost indefinitely pretty much without the monitor dying since it's constantly receiving power, but the battery lasts around 2 hours, I would say. So as for complaints, I really wish that I could do things like tap to focus with the screen. I don't know if it is possible, but if it is, then I would love to see that being implemented moving forward. I do wish that the power in charger had been included for unlimited use without depending on the battery by itself. That is something that I would strongly advocate for. And the touchscreen can sometimes be a little bit funky and won't respond to every single press. So like it's not as responsive as a smart screen display from my experiments, but just responsive enough, I would say. But that's really all I've got to say here. Now that I actually have one of these displays in hand, I can finally understand why cinematographers invest in monitors like these. They're very versatile and offer a lot of functionality. It's been very helpful when producing these Tech Summit reviews and even the podcast, and I suspect that it will be the case for a very long time to come. With that said, I can strongly recommend it if you're in the market for one, and if you're concerned about pricing, then I've actually got a coupon code for you, and you can go ahead and use the coupon code TechSummit2 for 10% off. And hey, I mean, make sure to use that if you're in the market for something like that. It could end up saving you a good chunk of money. Once more, that is for 10% off TechSummit2. I'm going to leave that code linked in the description as well. And also, if you're interested in purchasing this monitor, then do make sure to stop by my affiliate link down below, which is going to take you to Amazon. And if you end up using Luster as well, if you're looking for other alternatives, maybe cheaper alternatives, or if you're looking for sales on this monitor, then you can definitely depend on Luster to help you find better prices and things like that, if there are any available. I'm going to leave that linked down below. And the last thing is going to be an Abunda link, which essentially is going to allow you to finance this monitor. You're not necessarily interested in paying for it outright, or if you can't afford to pay for it outright, it allows you to pay in installments, which is something that will be very useful, especially when it comes to gear like this. So links to that are going to be below. If you use any of my links, I get a small commission, and well, it makes the channel very happy. And also do make sure to stop by the Tech Summit podcast. It does go down every Wednesday and Sunday. Also stop by my Twitch streams, which go down every Friday and Saturday. I'm going to leave links to both of these down below. And also do make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more. But with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you all later. Enjoy.